The strange reason humans keep creating castes. Why every equality movement creates new elites. Intro, the 12-minute utopia. Imagine waking up tomorrow in a perfectly equal society. No billionaires, no aristocrats, no Ivy League graduates, no CEOs, no influencers, no blue check marks, no famous families, no nepo babies, no elite clubs, no inherited privilege. Humanity has finally solved inequality. John Lennon is somewhere screaming, "I told you so," for about 12 minutes. Because by lunchtime, people would already be sorting themselves into new categories. Who's smartest? Who's funniest? Who gets invited to the important meetings? Who knows the right people? Who has the most followers? Who's secretly becoming the new leader? This is one of the strangest patterns in human history. Civilizations repeatedly destroying hierarchies and then immediately building new ones. Kings lose their crowns. Aristocrats lose their estates. Priests lose their authority. Revolutionaries celebrate. Then somehow, a few years later, another elite appears. Different clothes, different titles, different justification. Same basic structure. It's almost as if humans aren't fighting hierarchies. We're fighting over who gets to run them. And that raises an uncomfortable possibility. What if the opposite of hierarchy isn't equality? What if the opposite of one hierarchy is simply a different hierarchy? There's a recurring bug in human civilization. A bug that survived kings, emperors, democracy, communism, capitalism, and even the internet. Because every time humans remove one scoreboard, we just seem to invent another. Chapter 1, the status animal. Most people assume hierarchy exists because some people have more stuff, more money, more land, more resources. But that explanation immediately runs into trouble. Hunter-gatherers have hierarchies, and hunter-gatherers own almost nothing. No hedge funds, no vacation homes, no stock portfolios. Yet everyone still knows who matters. Anthropologists find this pattern almost everywhere. The best hunter gains influence. The bravest warrior gains prestige. The wisest elder gains authority. The funniest storyteller gains attention. Status appears before wealth, which suggests something important. Humans don't merely compete for resources. Humans compete for position, and those are not the same thing. Imagine two worlds. In one world, you earn $100,000 while everyone around you earns $50,000. In another, you earn $500,000 while everyone around you earns $5 million. Objectively, you're richer in the second world, yet many people would choose the first because status is relative. A chimpanzee doesn't care how many bananas exist. A chimpanzee cares who gets the first banana. And unfortunately for our dignity, humans often seem to run a surprisingly similar operating system. This may explain one of the strangest things about history. People repeatedly launch revolutions against inequality, and often they succeed. The old elite disappears, but the desire for status remains, and that's where things get interesting. Chapter 2, India's official scoreboard. Ancient India built one of history's most famous systems of social ranking, the caste system. To modernize, it appears shockingly rigid. Birth could shape your occupation, your marriage options, social standing, opportunities. Entire lives could be heavily influenced by a category assigned before a child even took their first breath. Today we look at this and think, how could anyone tolerate something so unfair? But here's the uncomfortable observation. Every society sorts people. India simply made the sorting visible. Most societies hide their status systems behind prettier language. Prestige, professionalism, merit, culture, credentials, connections. The sorting remains, only the marketing changes. And notice something important. Caste wasn't simply about money. A wealthy merchant could still rank below a poor priest. Status and wealth were not identical. That's a clue. Because throughout history, people repeatedly sacrifice wealth for prestige. A nobleman might be poorer than a merchant and still feel superior. A professor might earn less than a plumber and still possess more social standing in many circles. Humans are not simply maximizing income. We're maximizing position. And once you understand that, Rome begins to make a lot more sense. Chapter 3, Rome's endless game of musical chairs. The Romans hated kings. At least that's what they told themselves. Their entire republic was built around preventing monarchy. No kings, no tyrants, power shared among citizens. Problem solved. Except almost immediately, powerful families dominated everything. The patricians became Rome's elite. Generations passed. Political offices circulated through the same prestigious families. Ordinary Romans grew frustrated. Reformers emerged. Populists attacked aristocratic privilege. Crowds demanded change. Sound familiar? It should. We've been rerunning this episode for over 2,000 years. Every generation discovers inequality, becomes furious, promises this time will be different. Then something strange happens. The people leading the anti-elite movement often become the next elite. Rome repeatedly replaced one ruling group with another: patricians, military strongmen, emperors, imperial bureaucrats. Different rulers, same ladder. Power hates empty space. The moment one hierarchy collapses, ambitious humans begin building another. It's like a game of musical chairs where nobody questions why we're playing musical chairs. Everyone just wants the good seat. Chapter 4. China's Meritocratic Aristocracy. Then China tried something revolutionary. What if status wasn't inherited? What if talent determined success? Enter the imperial examinations. Imagine spending years memorizing classics by candlelight. One test could change your life. Pass, and you might join the bureaucracy. Fail, and return home. Compared to hereditary aristocracy, this was remarkably fair. A farmer's son could theoretically rise to tremendous power, at least in theory. Then human nature arrived. Families with resources hired tutors, bought books, created advantages, built networks, prepared children for years. Eventually, a new elite emerged. Not an aristocracy of blood, an aristocracy of credentials. And suddenly, the story starts sounding suspiciously modern. Elite schools, prestigious degrees, professional certifications, institutional gatekeepers. The family crest disappeared, the resume arrived. The old aristocrats vanished. The admissions office took over. Humans had not eliminated hierarchy, they had just changed the entrance exam. Chapter 5. The revolution that rebuilt the palace. Then came the Soviet Union. If any civilization was going to eliminate class, surely it would be this one. Workers would rule. Aristocrats would disappear. Privilege would end. The old elite was dismantled. Property seized. Titles abolished. Revolution accomplished. For a moment it looked like history had changed. Then something strange happened. Party officials accumulated influence. Influence created privileges. Privileges accumulated. Special stores, special housing, special vacations, special health care, special opportunities. Ordinary citizens sometimes stood in long lines hoping to buy basic goods. Meanwhile, party insiders shopped in stores inaccessible to everyone else. The Soviets even developed a name for this class: the nomenklatura. History's largest anti-class revolution had accidentally created another upper class. The irony is almost perfect. The revolution demolished the palace, then slowly rebuilt it. Only this time, the people inside carried party membership cards instead of noble titles. Humans don't seem particularly attached to specific hierarchies, they just keep creating new versions. Chapter 6. The caste system in your pocket. Now look around. Most modern Western societies believe they have escaped caste. No hereditary nobility, no formal social ranks, no official aristocracy. But look closer. What determines status today? Education, institutional affiliation, network access, professional credentials, cultural influence, attention, followers, subscribers, verification badges. Many of the symbols changed, but the instincts didn't. The internet was supposed to democratize influence. Instead, it generated entirely new status hierarchies: follower counts, engagement metrics, subscriber milestones, personal brands, and creator rankings. We took the greatest communication technology in human history and somehow turned it into high school at a planetary scale. The medieval noble displayed a coat of arms. The modern noble displays a LinkedIn profile. Different symbols, same species. And perhaps the most surprising part is that many people willingly participate. Because humans don't want freedom from hierarchy, they often want recognition within it. Chapter 7. The real reason. So why does this keep happening? Perhaps because status served an important purpose for most of human history. High-level individuals often gain better access to allies, resources, protection, influence, and opportunities. For hundreds of thousands of years, rank wasn't a vanity metric. It was a survival metric. Natural selection may have wired humans to monitor social position with extraordinary sensitivity. If that's true, every equality movement faces the same challenge. You can remove wealth hierarchies. You can remove hereditary hierarchies. You can remove political hierarchies. But unless you remove the human desire for status, new hierarchies emerge. Different scoreboard, same game. And that may explain why civilization keeps arriving at the same destination by different roads. History reveals a pattern so consistent it's difficult to ignore. Kings fall, nobles disappear, castes weaken, revolutions triumph, then the new elite emerge. The priest becomes the bureaucrat becomes the technocrat, the aristocrat becomes the credentialed expert, the royal court becomes the social network. Different costumes, same human nature. Perhaps the deepest lesson isn't that hierarchy always wins, it's that hierarchy constantly mutates. And the most successful societies may not be the ones that imagine hierarchy can be eliminated. They may be the ones that understand how quickly humans reinvent it. Because the next caste system probably won't call itself a caste system. It never does. It will call itself merit, or expertise, or professionalism, or influence, or something else that sounds much nicer. And if history is any guide, we're probably already building it. Hey, thanks for watching my video. Please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to see when I make more. I make these videos totally for free, and your support really helps the channel grow. You can also share this with someone you think will like it, check out the Amazon links to cool stuff in the description, and tip me if you feel so inclined. Venmo at History of Human Nature. I appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one.